Welcome to my channel. It's Sky, and today I'm going to talk about Sagittarius rising. So I am super excited to talk about this rising sign. This is a very fortunate rising sign. If you have this rising sign, lucky you, because this is a very lucky placement. This rising sign are usually really energetic, very outgoing, open-minded, always looking to have fun and enjoy life. It's definitely all about adventure. And before we get into it, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the rising sign is. And the rising sign is representative of our appearance, our personalities, but most importantly, the rising sign is the beginning of your chart. So it's going to determine the houses in your chart. Okay, so for Sagittarius rising, so off the bat, this person is going to be very concerned with growth in their life and just gaining as much experience as possible so they continue on growing, so they continue on experiencing, adventuring through life. These people really love travel, they like to explore, they love to, and that's traveling within the mind and also physically. So these people really want to experience life to the fullest that they can, like as much as they can. It's like a big or go home type of energy that they have. They just want to do it all. For these people, life can be an ongoing adventure. Like they really have a lot of energy. They want to these people are really big on energy. Usually they're very loud, they're very talkative, they're very expressive, but they can be shy as well. Regardless of them being shy, they're still gonna want to have like this big life. So they can be more shy, but there's still something about them that's very big, or that wants to be expressed in a big way. The rising sign can also give you indications on the person's appearance. And so for this rising, because Jupiter is the ruler of this sign, it usually gives the person a big, like something is big about their features, about one particular feature. So for the woman with this rising sign, it's common to have like a nice hourglass shape with this rising sign. Like they have a nice butt, nice hips. It's like more fuller on the bottom. Or they can just have something big about their appearance in general, like something about their body is big, or like they have a certain feature that's really big and really prominent. Personality may be very big, so it's like as soon as they walk into a room, it's just they're like light up the room. They have a very like big personality, or the way that they express themselves, like the way that they show themselves, like their style may be very person that really stands out based on their outfit. Have like a larger than life demeanor and just a very out there, like extra person sometimes. So yeah, and regardless, again, if you're shy or if you're more timid, it's still gonna be expressed in some way, like something. Rising sign is also about the early beginnings. It's all about our very first things. So like our early stages of our life, the very moment that we were born, like that very first time as earthlings. So the time that you were born, this means that you were celebrated as a baby. Like it was a very happy time for your mom and dad. Like it was a time where it was a big celebration. And you will want to think that like every baby would have that same entrance into the world, but not everybody, because for some families, they may have been going through a rough time. It may have been a very hectic day. Yeah, like, there's a lot of things that could go on. But regardless of how the day went, of the day of your birth went, like it was still really celebrated and just received. You were received with like very big happiness and like, oh my God, thank God the baby's here. Like we were waiting for so long. It's like a very welcoming celebration into the world. So one very big thing about this rising sign is that they do not want to be limited by anything. Like they don't really do well in 9-to-5 jobs. They don't really like to be structured in any way. They want to be free. They don't want to have limits based. They don't really want to be limited. They want to have the chance to travel and the chance to live their life the way they want to. Being with this rising sign is super fun. It's usually a really fun time. They try to look at life at more of an optimistic, positive way. One thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't talk about any other rising sign video because I just didn't really want to get into this topic, but I'm gonna get into this topic for you guys because I noticed this is a huge with you being this person who's always wanting to do whatever they want, whenever they want, and you live like this, sort of tend to spend your money very sporadically, and like you may spend a lot of money on things that should not cost that much. I don't know what it is, yo, but like for real, tacos and a watered down drink should never cost $50. Like that is actually ridiculous. Every time I go out with a specific person that comes to mind when I think about this rising sign, I always am just like, oh my god, I spent so much money on like something that was just not, I don't know. I'm like, you guys don't know how to save your money. You know how to spend your money. You don't have to save. The person that I was thinking about before, I used to work with her, and she used to tell me like, oh, I don't understand why people don't want to go and, you know, go on a trip or do whatever and spend their money after they make it when they can make it right, when they can just go back to work and make it again. And I was just like, like at first it makes sense because it's like, okay, this person just wants to live the best. Yes, I would have had many experiences, and this is one of the things that you guys have a lot of experiences under your belt, and that's something to admire in itself. But then again, like you guys kind of just are faced with financial limitations, which is another form of limitation. I'm gonna go into the 4th house now, which your 4th house is in Pisces. So 4th house is our childhood, what we grew up with in our households, our private life. So in the 4th house, when you have Pisces in the 4th house, this means that behind closed doors, you're much more reflective and quiet, and you're definitely more introverted. Like as a kid, you probably were in your room a lot, just more alone and reserved, and you like to like escape into your own world. Because you have so many experiences and you're here and there all the time, you're gonna need time to obviously sit down and recharge through all of these amazing, crazy things that are happening to us. So for you, you need this. Like it's very important for you to get this alone time and for you to reflect by yourself so you can really get, you know, recharged and ready to live this adventurous, go crazy life that you. The 4th house is also our childhood and like the people, our household overall. So like the people in our house. So a lot of times, some sort of deception in your family. So when you look, when you look at it for what it is, it looks okay, everything looks like. Usually find out that that is not true. That there are secrets in your family, that there are deceptions, that people have been lied to, that, you know, that there's just a lot of manipulation, emotional trauma in your family. So now we're going to get into the 7th house, which is the house of relationships. Everything having to do with how we relate to people, places, and things. And so it's also going to be how the people that we attract into our life. So the type of people that we attract, the archetypes that we attract. So for you guys, the 7th house is in Gemini. So your guys are going to attract people with Gemini-like qualities, or qualities where you love to be stimulated. Like people who love to be stimulated, you want to attract people, or you attract people that stimulate you because you don't want to have a boring moment in your life. You want to be on your toes and learn new things and always constantly be, you know, having conversation with people. You don't want to be in relationships with people that are going to bore you or that are going to get tired. People who are witty, people who are knowledgeable. So mercurial people are gonna be people you're really gonna like to be around. Like with your relationships, you're gonna need people who are constantly gonna stimulate you and gonna keep up with you because you're like this fiery force in the world, and you need people that are gonna keep up with you. people who, people who got it. Like, you don't want no boring people in your life. So Geminis are going to be great for you. So another thing with this is that the 7th house is also the other side of us, and the side that we may not really believe is there. Like, the other side, like our shadow side, and the side that we may not really like in others, but we ignore it ourselves. So for you, it's in Gemini. So a lot of times you guys can contradict yourselves. And again, as I was talking about the thing with money, we can talk about that again. Like, you guys are always talking about free, being free, limitless, and not having limitations, and just not, just living life as best as possible. But then you kind of contradict yourself with the situations that you put yourself into every day, like spending a lot of money, or just being in a situation you don't want to be. Or you will also attract a lot of people that are going to contradict you and be like, okay, well, you just said this and now you're doing this. And it's kind of, you need that person to really show you like that side of you that you may not necessarily identify with, but it's still there. So a lot, it's going to be really important to listen to people and to really truly listen to people, because you guys kind of, it goes both ways. Like, you guys can really be really good listeners if you guys are open-minded that day, but then sometimes you get that day where you're just not open-minded and you guys don't care about anybody's opinions, or about what anybody's saying at all, even if it's facts. Like, you guys are just like, whatever, like, this is what I think. The way that you treat people and the way that you're around people, sometimes you don't really know. Like, you might be somebody who's really, really like all over you that one day, and then the next day they're like more like, oh, whatever, like not really all over you. The 10th house, which is the house of career. My favorite house is the house of career, house of how we build ourselves in order to mark our name in society, like how we're building ourselves to this, how we market ourselves, our public self. Sagittarius rising, your 10th house is in Virgo. But with Virgo in the 10th house, this is going to give you like that perfect image, like, oh, she's so perfect, or he's so perfect kind of like image. Like, that's your public persona. So if we look at like Kim Kardashian, she's someone with a Sagittarius rising, and her public persona, if there's someone who just has like this perfect image, like this flawless beauty, and hers is specifically with like in the beauty industry and like the fashion industry. So a lot of people view her as like perfect, or a lot of people view her as like having the perfect body, having the perfect face, or whatever. So sign, you guys who have this rising sign want to have that career of like, it's perfect, kind of like, the perfect career of whatever you think is perfect. So many times this person can be very, very hard on themselves and nitpick at themselves in terms of how they look for their public. So of course, if you're like this blogger or this social media person who has to like look nice in order, that's their career, that's the field that they're in, it's gonna take a lot of work to keep up with that. So Kim Kardashian isn't Kim Kardashian because she was one day, like seen as this perfect person, and then she was like, oh, okay, whatever, I'm not gonna try hard, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm gonna like not even do my hair. She has to keep it up. We have to keep up with the good makeup, with the good styles, with everything. Image is something that is very like, you kind of want it to be perfect, so it's hard to keep up sometimes. You guys tend to kind of get bored of things and not really tend to things, and just be very here or there and bounce back and forth between tasks and not really commit yourself to something. So once you guys really actually are committed and do apply discipline, it flourishes, and you guys, that's where you guys are rewarded the most, or you guys are seen in the public as this even more perfect person, because it's like, okay, this person. Virgo is the sign of constant watering. You constantly have to do something on a day-to-day basis in order for it to grow. So for you, you constantly have to put in the work, hard, honest work. And at the end of the day, the hard, honest work is what's going to shine. It's not, oh, she's so perfect, so she's pretty, or she gets whatever she wants, or, oh, he's so talented, he has a nice voice anyway, he gets to, have amazing music career. No, it's, I worked hard, so therefore I manifested what I knew I could. So being organized, being efficient, you know. Oh, Virgo is one of those signs where it's the most misunderstood sign in the zodiac, is where they can literally do something that is right forever. Like they could be doing 5 right things, and then that 1/6 wrong thing they did, everyone's like attacking them and like, oh my god. Just know that in the public eye, like you're probably gonna receive a lot of criticism for like the one time that you fucked up, even though you did right like all these other times, even though you were like perfect all this other time. People love to criticize you. So that's pretty much it. Just make sure you focus on the work itself, focus on getting it done. Don't focus on how perfect everyone thinks your life is. So yeah guys, that is that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, or if you are Sagittarius rising, let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.